How's it going, everybody? This is Pastor Sean Barron recording live from my bedroom. Uh, my animals, I didn't bother to lock them up because it's late. So if they start barking or whatever, you're just getting what goes on at my house. I just want to give you a little. I was encouraged. I got some feedback from the other videos because these particular videos were designed strictly for the men's step study group. Then I couldn't figure out how to make the big video go into the group me, which is the little communicating tool that we use. So here we are, and I just published it on my public channel because I was frustrated. And then with the coronavirus situation, it took forever, like a day and a half of constant effort to try to get a 10-minute video. So I'm not going to keep you too long, but I do want to tell you this is who I'm with and where you can find more about what we're doing. Freedom Ministry of the South on Facebook. Freedom337.org is the website. You can search the Rock Church on Facebook or the Rock Church group. And these groups are based out of Sulphur, Louisiana that I'm talking about. And then the book that God gave me over a 10-year process is Finish Your Milk and Don't Drink the Kool-Aid. And then there's a blog site where you can get that book electronically. And there's just little thoughts that I've collected recently, at least since this year started, at finishyourmilk.org. But the real reason we're here is because of this right here. And if you don't know what Celebrate Recovery is, and you're involved in ministry, or you really just want to help people, and you want to finish your process maybe and get all the way healed, I recommend you visiting. You can Google Celebrate Recovery. You'll find some official and non-official groups. Go visit them. See what they're about. See if the people are genuine and real. If it's an official Celebrate Recovery group, then they probably are, you know. And we do something called Freedom Ministry of the South, but we still stick to this one blueprint, this area of the step study, because it's biblical in origin and nature. So I encourage you, during this time where things are crazy, and we can't even naturally go to groups and meetings, reach out to somebody. And under normal circumstances, and really these two, do whatever you have to do. If that's NAAA, whatever, Christian Recovery. I chose to go to church every time the door was open. I found a place that would receive me as I was, and not try to turn me into a pod person or whatever. But the last lesson on here that I shared, I taught the lesson moral real briefly. One of the questions on there was, what can you do to wake up your feelings? Well, some of us live in our feelings, and some of us are dead to our feelings. So that's an important one, because you need to tap into your feelings to really get into doing the step work, to really writing down your step 4 and taking that seriously, And really at this point, if you're progressing along, or you want to take this seriously, you need to have a sponsor. That was the first lesson of the second book, is sponsor, and a sponsor is not supposed to be your biggest fan. A sponsor is supposed to be somebody that can call you on your own mess. Yeah, this video is being broadcast from Louisiana, so pollen is really tearing up my nose, but so just bear with me in that regard. So, lesson 9 of the step study is about inventory. So actually, we're going to talk about 9 and 10 for the sake of time and how many of these videos I can crank out there in the middle of the other service work and things that we're doing. You can find some more stuff to encourage you on this page on my channel. But inventory, talking about step 4. Openly examine and confess my faults to myself, to God, and to someone I trust. Happy are the pure in heart. Blessed are the pure in heart, depending on your translation. And then step 4, we made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. Okay, I'll give that to you. And so with that said, the book gives you this book. You can get them on Amazon. You can get them from Saddleback.com. Uh, but the inventory in the book goes like this, and this is a worksheet, and it's a good tool to get this stuff that you have buried inside of you out. Okay, why you should have a sponsor, or at least some accountability, is because you don't want to get stuck in your feelings with nobody to express them to you, you know. And I'm going to share with you here in a second how we do it at Freedom Ministry. Now, we still recommend writing it down in this book, okay? And they give you a guide, and they give you scriptures, you know, because we are all made new in Christ Jesus. And so we have to learn how to walk that out, how to receive it totally. And even if you receive one of those instantaneous healings, you still have your old nature that tries to manifest every once in a while and sabotage your destiny. So it's my heart that you can go forward with Jesus in your healing, in your family, in your ministry, in your day-to-day life, in your career. So the book is loaded with scriptures to help guide you through. Okay, I'm going to go through this real fast because I want to share about these worksheets. But it says, yeah, and then you want to make a date with yourself. You don't want to start filling out these papers and leave your phone on, leave your TV on, you know, have people running around the house. And I've always said this for years, that if you're not concerned about your spouse, significant other, children, whoever, if you could just leave this book with your answers sitting on the coffee table, then you probably need to fill out that book again and start over. Because we all have little things and quirks and stuff that we're not proud of. And if we made a highlight, if they made a highlight reel of you, like the liberal media tries to do to Donald Trump, or vice versa for Joe Biden or any of the rest of them, if they took the worst of me, even from a few years ago, and put it on a slideshow, I wouldn't want anybody to see that. Amen? And that's the kind of stuff that we need to be talking about, so we can learn to be transparent and real and stop just pretending like everything's okay because I'm a Christian or I go to church on Sunday or whatever it is. So the person, we want to talk about the object of your fear or resentment. So, for example, if it's your mom, your dad, your ex-wife, your ex-husband, whatever it might be. Okay. And then the cause. Okay. What was the cause of that particular incident, affliction, whatever it was? The effect. What has it had on my life? The rejection. Why do I have these issues? Why do I keep going back? The damage. What is it actually triggering me to do? Not trust people? Not open up to people? You know, swing first and ask questions later? These are all things that can affect our choices, because there's a great little book called The Bruises of Satan. And theologically it's fairly sound, and it talks about how the enemy tries to destroy us when we're young. And if you start doing this work, you'll see that sometimes we think this is just the way that I am, but in reality sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's the way the world, the enemy, and the flesh have created us to be, and we've behaved like that out of defense mechanisms to survive. And that's really not who we are. And that's where that being a new creation in Christ Jesus and receiving a new name, like it says in Revelations 2. So then it says my part. You know, for example, if I neglected my wife constantly and just came home and fell asleep, or sat there drinking 10-ounce beers, watching the game, ignoring her, never helped her take in the groceries, never helped her with the kids, never listened to her day at work, whatever it was, but she ended up having an affair and cheating on you. At some point, we have to acknowledge, hey, that was totally wrong what happened, but this is what I did. You know, my part, taking ownership, okay? Doesn't mean it's your fault. It just means we all play a part, okay? But if sexual abuse or something, things of that nature, any type of abuse, really. We did absolutely nothing. You have no part, and you need to be able to say that and roll with that. Um, so that's basically the inventory worksheet in general there. So I'm going to start speeding along. Then it says inventory 1. And so in this book, it has a lot in this section, starting at page 32 in book 2. Uh, it says my relationship with others, my priorities in life, my attitude, and my integrity. And, everybody says, well, integrity is what you are when nobody else is looking. But it has lots of really good questions, okay? Who has hurt you? Who are you holding a grudge against? Who are you jealous of? Who have you hurt and why did you hurt them? Who are you being critical of or who have you gossiped about? That's huge. And why? We got to do that soul searching and examine yourself a little bit about why do I feel this way, or why when I see that political meme, or why when I see somebody behaving in the same sin that I used to do, am I jealous that they might be having a good time, and I haven't had a good time in 5 years? We have to search our own hearts. Or are we seriously worried about people and their well-being? What new healthy relationships have I made? And then it talks about your priorities. This is a challenging little exercise to put a number on which one is important: your career, your family, your church, Christ, friendships, money, or ministry. And for people in ministry, to be honest, that's pretty tough sometimes, ain't it? And then our attitudes. What's our attitude? I always say, what is the spirit behind a thing? That's important. So this lesson is very, very extensive. But this is what we do real quick with Freedom Minister, okay? We modified that years ago, and then we made these 4 worksheets. If you're really interested in them, you can comment your email or contact me on any of those other links. I'm going to write the links to this video. So we have part 1, okay? Part 1, who has hurt you? And then we break that down and say the cause, the damage, and then my part. Much like that. So if you do that, and then sit down with one of these papers, it's going to flow out of you a lot easier by the time you get to this part. Okay? And then you want to have that sponsor. You want to be making a time. You want to be taking that seriously. Okay, part 2. Who did I hurt? This is where, we take ownership of that. For column 1, who did I hurt? How did I hurt them? What were my priorities or my attitude? And then what would God have me do instead? Now that's part 2 right there. I'm doing the best I can with the lighting that I currently have. Okay, part 3. This is one that Freedom Ministry added. What are my fears? Facing my fears. Do you know why that's important? Because your fears will keep you from public speaking. Your fears will keep you from praying for somebody out loud, or stepping up in whatever area of life and ministry, going for it, picking up the guitar, whatever it is you dream of doing. So what are my fears? How does this affect me? And what does God's word say about that fear? What is God's word? How will God show me victory over that fear? Right now, this is huge for the United States of America. Could probably take a look at that paper. Okay. Part 4, this is where we end on a positive note, where how is God working in my life through recovery? So then you write, whatever I did. I helped the lady across the street. I cut her grass. I went to the grocery store for her. I'm sponsoring people now. I cooked for Chip Night. Whatever it is, these things that we do, we don't got to do anything for Jesus. We get to give back. And we've been talking about that aspect of that from Titus 3 around here. So, how is God working? What did I do? What Christ-like quality did I demonstrate with that action? And then how do I feel about it? So we don't want to look at all this negative stuff and not throw in something positive. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this thing up, but I've got to give you this one last piece of advice when it comes down to doing these papers. Do not write the person's name, okay, and then go over here and say what they did and do like this. Because by the time you do 4 or 5 people, there's a chance you could get all the way back into your feelings. So the way we advise it and have done it for years, we stick and move, and we will say, who hurt, let's see what this one is. Who has hurt you? Okay, if it was my mom, my dad, my ex-girlfriends, my friends that betrayed me, the person that snitched me out when I had all those drugs, whoever these people are, you write their names down this way, then go back and write what they did this way, how it made you feel this way, how you deal with it this way. That way you don't get stuck with any particular person or emotion. And then you want to have your sponsor, and then you want to have accountability, and you want to normally be connected with a couple of meetings or whatever it is a week. Uh, I went through 15 years of substance abuse. 5 years of that time, I was dealing with depression, uh, mental health. You could say whatever. Grief was definitely one of the things. And I'm not a big fan of getting on drugs to get off of drugs. Sometimes you have to do whatever you have to do. But I did it with basically with Jesus Christ and the cognitive behavioral model of changing the way that I think. And by doing that, positioning myself, uh, the Lord changed the way that I felt, and it became real. And I didn't become a fake Christian religious pod person with all sorts of bitterness in my heart. I became not an imperfect vessel that's healed, and it's a trip. But I need support. I need you. I need my family. I need my friends. I need the community that God provides. I need His Word, and I need to be honest, open, and real. And my name is Sean Barron, and thank you for checking out this video. And drop a comment if you liked it. Later.